Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my class. So, the lesson we are reading, what is the name of the lesson? Susruta, an ancient plastic surgeon. We have already finished more than half, and today it's time to continue the same lesson. But let us recall the last class. Let's have a revision of what we have read about this lesson. So, what did we read? We read that Susruta is a doctor, is a surgeon, and suddenly one day at midnight he found someone was knocking at his door. There was a traveler who was knocking at the door. Susruta, when he opened the door, he found that the person who was knocking the door was in trouble. He was in pain. His nose was totally disfigured, and there were tears in his eyes. There were blood on his face, and the man was kneeling before him. He said that he was in need of help. He was in need of Susruta's help. As he was injured, he was in need of help of Susruta. Then Susruta told that traveler that don't worry, everything will be all right. Be quiet, get up and come in with me. So he took that traveler inside. What did he do? He cleaned his face with water and then with juice of medicinal plant. And then again, what did he do? He offered him a mug of wine and began preparing for the operation. So Susruta was going to operate his nose, and in order to do that, he did some kind of preparation. What did he do? He brought a leaf of creeper from the garden. Then what did he do? Then he measured the size of his nose. Again he took all the instruments required for operations like knife, forceps, and then he put them over a flame and cut a stripe of flesh from the stranger's cheek. After cutting the flesh from his cheeks, what did he do? He just used that flesh to give shape to his nose. But as he was doing all this, that man, the traveler, was not in his sense because of the wine. Otherwise, he would feel pain. And these days also, as I said, it's not possible. Any surgery or any kind of operation when doctors they do, they give anesthesia. They make the patient senseless. So, by using all his tools or the instruments, he started operating the nose of that traveler. When he gave shape to the nose of the traveler, in that he applied some powder of licorice, red sandalwood and some Indian barberry extract. And even he also used some cotton to envelop or the cover to cover the nose, and then he sprinkled some sesame oil on it. And finally he was successful in his operation. And when he finished his operation and now the stranger was fine, he also instructed the stranger about everything, about what to do, what not to do, about the medicines, and what kind of food he should take. Everything, whatever the required instructions were there, he gave all the required instructions to the traveler. And he also suggested him to come back after a few days for giving report or to just have a checkup again. So in this way he did his operation. This was nothing but a plastic surgery. Susruta, it is about, you see, 26 centuries ago. I have already said it means 26 centuries ago means 2600 years ago. Susruta has already done plastic surgery. These days we come to know about plastic surgery. We can change our face, we can change anything, nose, ears. So this plastic surgery is nothing new. It is already there with us for a very long time. And Susruta was the beginner of this. It means he has started this surgery which is known as plastic surgery. So that's why Susruta is known as father of plastic surgery in the world. And he has also written a book, treatise means a written work, that is Susruta Samhita. In that there are many knowledgeable things written there related to the medical. Even today also people use his book for any kind of medical suggestions, to know about the instruments. So there are different types of information in his book. So we can say that Susruta is one of the greatest doctors or the scientist in India. He has made us proud. Now we are going to continue this lesson. Already we have finished reading till this. Now let's see what the next line says. Born in the 6th century BC, here BC means before Christ. Before Christ means before the birth of Jesus Christ. Okay. So born in the 6th century BC, Susruta was a descendant of the Vedic sage. So now see this word descendant. The meaning of descendant is heir or the successor. We often say na, heir to the throne. So heir or the successor, it means what do I say? For example, king and his child, his grandchild, they are the heirs or the successors or the descendant. So this Susruta is the heir of Vedic sage Vishwamitra. You already have heard this name, Vishwamitra. So he learned surgery and medicine at the feet of Divodasa Dhanvantari in his hermitage at Varanasi. It means Divodasa Dhanvantari is the guru or is the teacher of Susruta. Susruta has learned the surgery and the medicine, everything from his guru Divodasa Dhanvantari. In which place? In Varanasi. Later he became an authority in not only surgery but also in other branches of medicine. So we already saw that Susruta is a successful surgeon. Not only a surgeon, but we can also call him a scientist, because he is the first one who has done these surgeries. So the inventor of surgery. He is a great scientist as well as a doctor. So this person Susruta is very famous, or he has become the authority not only in the surgery but also in some other branches of the medicine. So let us see what are those. He was the first physician to advocate what is today known as the caesarean operation. Caesarean operation means it's a kind of operation or a surgery to deliver babies. Those operations are called caesarean operations. So he was also an expert in removing urinary stones. And not only in removing stones, he was also very expert in treating the fractures, doing eye operations for cataract. So he was very successful in the field of medicine and surgery, and his knowledge towards the different things, not only the surgeries, different kinds of caesarean operation surgeries. Along with that, he was also a doctor for eyes. He was also a doctor for removing the stones from the urine. So we can say an excellent person, an excellent doctor beyond our thinking. These days we can see many doctors, they are the specialist for some particular thing. Eye doctors cannot treat your stomach problem, or any physician, or there are different doctors for the different body parts, but he is a combo pack of all that. And top of all these, his suggestion to give wine to patient about to be operated upon makes him also the father of anesthesia. So he is also the father of anesthesia. How can we say this? Because it was his idea to give wine to the patient before operation. So giving wine means making the patient senseless. So these things makes him the father of anesthesia. He is also the father of anesthesia. Now next, in his treatise, Susruta lists 101 types of instruments. His Samdamsa yantras are the first forms of the modern surgeon's spring forceps and dissection and dressing forceps. So here you see Samdamsa yantras. Yantras means machine. Yantra we say na, yantras in English it is written. It means the machines or the tools or the instruments. So his instruments, Samdamsa are the instruments, okay, the tools. They are the first forms of the modern surgeon's spring forceps. It means for doing operations for the surgeons, they need many instruments, they need many tools. So the tools of Susruta were the first forms of modern surgeons' spring forceps. And see, in fact, his system of naming surgical tools after the animals or birds they resemble in shape. For example, crocodile forceps, hawkville's forceps is adopted even today. So whatever instruments he used to have in those days, he has named those instruments according to the shape of the birds or the animals. So they have this Susruta has given names to those instruments, to those tools according to the names of the animals and according to the shape it shows, it resembles. Now even today also people use this therapy, people use the same names. Susruta was also an excellent teacher. He told his pupils means students, he told his students that one could become a good physician only if one knew both theory and practice. He advised his pupils to use carcasses and models for practice before surgery. Now here you see what is the meaning of this word carcass. Carcass means the dead bodies. Carcass means the dead bodies. So as Susruta was an excellent teacher, he has given many suggestions to his students. He has said that one can be a very good physician only he has to know the theory as well as the practical. Sometimes it happens that we have knowledge, we know many things, we have a good theory knowledge of something, but if we have never done practically, then we cannot be good at that thing. So it will be partially good on something. If we want to be perfect on something, we should have the knowledge of theory as well as the practicals. So Susruta says that he advised his pupils that you should have some theory knowledge as well as you should have some practice. And how can they practice? They need to practice in the carcasses. Carcasses means the dead bodies, and the models for practice before surgery. So he suggested his students that before any surgery they must practice that surgery on some dead bodies or on some models, because they are the freshers, those who learn it for the first time, those who are the beginners. So if they directly do operation, what would happen in that case if it is not successful then? So that's why all the time what happens, everything needs a practice. Whatever we do without practice, we cannot make ourselves perfect. So Susruta has also advised his students to make themselves perfect by practicing their knowledge, their skills, their knowledge. So this was a lesson about the great person Susruta. How much we talk about Susruta, it would be less. So we saw that he is the father of plastic surgery. He is also the father of anesthesia, and he is an excellent teacher. He also knows the treatment for eyes. He also can treat the fractures, and also he can remove the stones, I mean the urinary stones. Now we have finished reading this lesson, I should say an excellent lesson, a lesson about Susruta, an ancient plastic surgeon. And this person is rarely found. I mean, these days we won't get such type of doctors. Of course, we have many good doctors, but his matter is something else. He is somewhere at the top of the world, Susruta. The people of the whole world, they know about this person, the greatest person, I should say, Susruta. Now your work is to read this lesson, just go through it, and I would share one or two videos along with this video, some animated videos. If I find, I am going to share it with you all about Susruta. Some more information you will get through the other videos which is available already. I am just going to share the links so that you can come to know more about Susruta. So by that time, keep practicing at home. Thank you and have a good day.